As of February 24th, 2024, I have finally hit 1,000 subscribers. 2040 came much earlier than expected. You're a real one if you get that. Oh my god! I am so genuinely thankful to get here. Here's nothing. Mr. Beast can sneeze and get a million views from it. But hey, 5 years making videos, I'm glad to finally hit what was my big end goal, 1K. In honor of that, here's my top 60 favorite characters. Why 60? Because the requirements to get a character list is extremely strict. Step 1. Exist. So this is, unsurprisingly, the hardest video I ever had to make. Characters to me are the thing I look for in fiction. Hence why a lot of my early top 10s are character themed. I have so many characters I like, I generally make the top 150 and still make some hard cuts. But it needs to be done. The world will not be whole again unless I know some random guy's 36th favorite character of his. Listen, this is such a big video that I gotta take a page from cinematic classic Poppy's Playtime and chop it into 3 parts, each covering 20 characters each. All forms of media is eligible. 1 per series, all that fun stuff. Oh, before we get to this proper, I need to talk about the sponsor. Yeah, big thing on a sponsor for all 3 of these videos. Yeah, these 3 videos are sponsored by this image.
It is I, the chameleon!
So we're starting us off with a character you either fully expect to be on this list, or never in a billion years thought would be anywhere near their character list. But once I say their name, you'll know why we're here. And yes, I do mean say their name.
Yum, yum.
Why would a guy named Stripe possibly like this character? There's so many possible reasons. Okay, yeah, let's get this out of the way. Shockingly, no one's ever really questioned my name. The squid part I'll get to later. The Stripe part, well, backstory time. Imagine, if you will, this old decrepit man before you as a child. He's at a friend's house. Yeah, that's how you know I was young, I had friends. And that house was a Lightning McQueen TV. And on that Lightning McQueen TV, was playing Gremlins, which, on all accounts, is a horror film. And then there's Stripe, who, on all accounts, is a pussy. Quite literally everything scared me back then, from spiders, giant monsters, to gore, to Oompa Loompas. And the evil green kill monsters were not an exception. Gremlins terrified me as a kid. There was one little note there though. I really loved this film. Usually, if I was scared of a thing, that means I hated it. I couldn't watch the first Toy Story until I was like 10, fully got over Sid. But 8-year-old me was instantly struck with these green chaotic lizards. Mostly because they were, well, green chaotic lizards. Despite being scared of them, I was intrigued by the Gremlins, with my biggest obsession being Stripe himself, since he was a leader. It became the thing I watched every Halloween, and when I was trying to think of a name, I wanted something quick, snappy, that stands out, and was referenced, but not something too tied to a series. I usually had to scrap my original idea, and of what I could think of, Stripe rose to the top. And the rest, they say, is history.
100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups.
Here's the first of my, wait, you were my favorite character in your series for the last 4 years. Why are you here? Characters. Yoim Sifil Siltifor Wayai Yawage characters. Much catchier title. For the longest time, Genos was my favorite character. In fact, I love this show in spite of Saitama, not because of him. I just thought Saitama was a boring protagonist because of the whole beats everything in one punch thing. His overall monotone voice and lack of real effort or care throughout the series really made me write him off as a boring Mary Sue-esque character. But then, Danny DeVito got Gift. Like I always knew the whole thing with Saitama was that he was a shonen protagonist at the end of his series thrown at the start. But I never fully got the whole, oh yeah, he's kind of depressed. OMG, for real like me. This all really hit me when I saw the death battle he was in, and saw how he really was just a depressed man who wanted purpose, despite his power. Really, all you need to do to be my favorite list to be brutally murdered by Popeye. He's constantly under the pressure of being the best, knowing he will never struggle at all. That hit me as hard as his serious punches. I too am perfect if you ignore all this. So I relate. No, but strong enough not the standard, you'll never be good enough, but you're too overqualified. That kind of humbled me a lot. Like, you don't want to be perfect. so that's boring. But also Zatanna was really funny, and even though he can beat everything in one punch, man, the fights are the coolest thing ever. Caillou, we had our hiccups, but you really made something of yourself.
What's with the attitude from this lost child?
Oh, really? You sure you want to put a label on it?
Halo was a movie I always really loved. It was right when Disney became my main focus interest, and the song and characters were the perfect in-between of the classic whimsy of the classics and the slight edge and wit of modern day. I was always a little saddened that it never got a sequel or anything. I mean, it got a TV show, but I'm an adult who doesn't need that kiddie show garbage. I still watch the kiddie movie garbage though. So who cares? I'm skipping it. But wait! This Kirby animatic included a song from the show. Hot dang, I gotta watch all of Halo series / Rapunzel's Halo Adventure 2017. And in this show, while all the old characters are great, newcomer Varian is the one that's really striking me. He's a socially awkward, tech-obsessed, lonely nerd who starts as a minor character, becomes an antagonist, before fully defecting to the good guys. This describes half characters on this list. Varian was the last character finalized on this list. Mostly because, again, he's got a lot of competition in the awkward genius field, but, he's got banger songs. I have the arc of maturing as the series goes on. He's fighting as a villain, he's funny as a scrimbo. Whatever he throws at me, I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Don't worry about me. I am sure I can find another assistant in the next 5 minutes.
Not quite.
Riots have been caught by one simple question. What is your favorite Disney princess? You must have one. If not, both your parents will leave for milk, and you'll be barred access from heaven. I'm so cool though that I've been sent directly to super heaven though, because I really have trouble picking my favorite princess. After tons and tons of debate though, yeah, I think it's Mulan. Disney has been trying more and more to make our princesses more active and capable, but Mulan really kicked off this trend long before it even was a trend. She's not the first to try and take things into her own hands. She's the first to do it, and not get immediately undermined. God, my dad's a weak little birch who's gonna go to war. No, be a man! Mulan's a very powerful story of never giving up that I swear influenced me, at least subtly, throughout my life. Even after being left to basically die by her own friends in the snow, Mulan still managed to pull through and stop the Huns, gain their trust, and save China. But that's far from her most impressive feat. She's somehow able to survive Mulan 2, and not having immediately yeet her out of the list. That's how you know she truly brought honor to her family. And her cow.
Who I am inside.
Beauty and the Beast was an extremely important film to me. I pretty much brought that DVD everywhere with me. I knew all the songs by heart, so of course, a character had to land here. There's so many options. Belle was in contention for my favorite Disney princess. Beast is a shockingly deep character. Lumiere is my mom's favorite. Cogsworth is very underrated and shockingly funny despite being a straight man. And Gaston is a misogynistic, abusive narcissist who starts a riot for his own ego. Well, we put it like that.
It's about time you got your head out of those books.
Well, because a fun fact, you can like characters who are bad people and still acknowledge that they're bad people, and I probably wouldn't hang out with them in real life. I love Godzilla, but you know, if he was destroying cities in real life, I would not invite him to tea. It's not all the things I said, but he's fine because he's funny, so yeah, they're fine, it's all fine! He's the first one with easily my favorite character type. The funny villain who's also a genuine threat. Gaston is another character who's been there basically my entire life, and never left. He was always there, just like Humpty Dumpty, Puss in Boots 2011. Not only was he such a big part of my childhood that I got a plush of him, why does this thing exist? But when Disney Face came along, at the same time I started using the internet more frequently. Which was like peak Gaston era. He was everywhere on YouTube. Poops, remixes, and illegal re-uploads of House of Mouse. I swear no one exes like Gaston. It was just a permanent part of my vocabulary for a solid 5 years. My parents loved it, and my dad definitely look at his build intentionally every single night considering the option. How do you have my favorite character list? Be a part of my childhood. I am so happy I had a woman right above this, guys. Again, this is my from my childhood. I changed. 11-year-old me would have loved Andrew Tate. And that's why my dad should have used the belt.
Antlers in all of my decorating.
Pathetic.
So unlike Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid really wasn't a super part of my childhood. I saw the film, of course, but I really didn't like Ariel until more recently. Despite that, Ursula was always one of my favorite villains. If you couldn't get it, kind of like cephalopods. Having your entire bottom half be a squid, very epic. I love hentai. All of what I said about Gaston applies here. Funny, also threatening, Puss in Boots scene, I quote body language more than I should. Also, she's purple, so she just barely edges out Gaston, the favorite Disney villain. Well, favorite of the main animated canon. If you want some not from that, but still owned by Disney, well, stay tuned. Still, there's a B word I can't say because I don't swear.
You know, I was thinking about that. And the thing is, I really don't care.
So despite being known as a CN guy, I actually really didn't like a lot of CN's early work as a kid. I watched the occasional show here and there, but I was much more Nick and Disney. I hate a lot of their work that I now love. The one exception, for reasons I don't know exactly why, was Foster's Home. I really can't explain why, but we had a few imaginary friends of my own back then, so that could be it. And so from today, actually, they're all of you! None of you exist. You're not real. And also Jerry. This is my basement. Classic Jerry. And throughout that all, my favorite character was, always will be, Eduardo. So rewatching really made me see the light. The light being that while Eduardo is really cool, Wilt is the man. In a show that's shockingly more mean-spirited than I remember, Wilt brings me back to the time where everything was nice. That's his whole character. He's an extremely nice guy to the point where he struggles to say no. And that's both really funny, but also really sweet. He really is the ideal best friend. It gets really sad when you find out his backstory, where he was created to be the best friend of a kid who loved basketball named Jordan Michaels. Oh, he's named after the guy from Space Jam! Daffy Duck! But unfortunately, he was about to get killed to death, so Wilt pushed him out of the way, losing an arm in the process. And despite that, he's still a wonderful little Scrimbo. And also he's really quotable and a silly. Guys, again, nostalgia is super powerful.
I have a mighty need!
Zim is the exact opposite of Wilt in every way. For one, he's green, which is the best color. So he's easily above that stupid red idiot! But also, one's a tall, soft-spoken friend to all, and the other is a small, really loud guy who probably has a higher kill count than everyone below him. I know it's shocking, Wilt really put up a good fight there. But also, I didn't really like Zim as a kid. I wrote the show off as just Randy equals funny and gross stuff. And that's true! I feel that Randy equals funny is actually really funny. Now, people screaming, not funny. This is Richard Stephen Horvitz, where it's hilarious. Genuinely, the more and more I think of this show, the more and more I can see my vocabulary shifting. Which is shockingly a problem I've hit several times actually. A decadent English class is nothing compared to a silly alien. Zim is just one of those characters where I just love seeing them doing things. He has the power to just go to school, or walk, or talk, or on a phone. I don't care. I'm locked in. He's just got that energy in him. I also have like 5 hearts and a bunch of other organs, and it's really spoosh. I love this silly green alien guy so much that I read his comics. I read a book! Again, much better than my teachers. I am, actually genuinely sorry about this one. I really wish my favorite regular show character was literally anyone else. This series is highly associated with me, so I don't think anyone would really care if it was literally any other member of the main 7 got here. The problem is that it's one that landed here as a character that is so underused that the show is going to mock how underused he is, only for that scene to be cut. Just so ironic, Alanis Morissette is making an entire song about it. Listen, this is another, guys, sometimes a quirky pick. Whenever I watch a regular show, if I was on screen, I'm happy. It's just a character I'm always happy to see on screen. You all have that one character, right? The relatively underused one that you just like seeing. High five goes to that for me. I like his really nice relationship he has with a girlfriend, which is really funny that a dead guy has more game than Mordecai. Actually, wait, is he dead? He dies on screen several times. The show isn't clear on that. His friendship with Mordecai is a lot of fun. He's just a silly, okay? You can say he's just set dressing, but my god, that dressing sure is tasty. I demand to see High Five Ghost's penis. Remember I started with a lot of cool, unique picks, like an anime character and a horror villain? That was so fun, right? Here's the 8th cartoon character in a row.
I just want to show you something.
5 o'clock, got a call to go playing at the skate park down by the mall. But my mom says I gotta prevent hostile aliens from annihilating us all. With the strength of 1,070 men, I guess I really shouldn't complain. Still, I wish I could go for a walk without a rusting in the rain. That's enough to fry my brain. So welcome to my life as a teenage robot. The story of my life as a teenage robot. My teenage robot life.
I've complained several times that, despite how popular Jenny is as a character, her entire series is shelved in terms of discussion. Mostly because people only know her for porn, but whatever. And while that does suck, I mean, at least it happens with a character who's super heckin' based. Teenage Robot is a show I only watched a little bit back in the day. For rewatching it last year, I am shocked how much I remembered. So many scenes had me like, wait, it's from this show? A freaking core memory was unlocked by watching it. And I think a lot of its staying power, for me, came from Jenny herself. She's everything you could want in a protagonist. She's funny, she's snarky, she wants to help other people, but also wants to live her own life. And nowadays, her struggle with wanting to be someone her mom refuses to accept hits much harder than it did 2 decades ago. Also, she flies and shoots lasers, and it's cool! My goal with my top 35 shows list is to get people to watch these shows on the list. Of the 4 I've done, I've gotten 3 people to watch Teenage Robot and nothing else on them. So, you know, this is a sub-special, going with the viewer's choice here.
Whatever it is, I can handle it.
So, have you heard of the new trend sweeping the nation? It's called autism.
I may be of assistance here.
Guys, I like Cartoon Network. Did you know that? Did you know I like Cartoon Network? Do you know that's a really fun fact? No, let's really snug up on me. I always liked Dendy as a little Strimlo, but I wasn't expecting a billion years for her to make it on here. I think she hits the 5 effect of me just being happy whenever they appear, but this time she appears much more frequently. She also hits a lot of other things I like. She was awkward, smart but naive, has a bit of a rude or morally weird streak since she threatens murder a lot, but at her core is a good person. Green, and has autism. Guys, trust me, it's not confirmed, but I can smell it! Huh, wonder if there's another same character that fits that exact description. Again, I'm just happy whenever she's on screen. Okakio really is one of the best mixes of humor and story in Western animation. I feel like that's really overlooked, and that comes out greatly with her. Thanks to her really monotone voice and limited social skills, tied in with this world being a little racist against Kappas, I don't think that gets enough attention. She's silly, okay? Shut up.
I am uncomfortable.
Please stop. You're all wobbly and giggly. I don't like it.
So, out of every series I'm discussing in this video, Soul Eater is definitely the one I'm the least into, hence why there's no honorable mentions. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like it, mostly for the Halloween aesthetic, but most characters don't really grab me. I think that makes Corona making it this high all the more notable. Again, I love socially awkward weirdos, and they're the prime example. Yes, they. I don't care what the dub says, we respect the true NB Monarch. There's a lot of ways Corona could be taken. Starting as an abused minion of their mother Medusa, but they took them in the best way possible, being a nervous wreck. I don't know, something about the second in command being the big bad, who's backed up by the power of Venom, being a complete loser. It's funny, I'm laughing. It makes their heel face turn all the more satisfying, and their bond with Maka all the more sweeter. Also, they're just super cool. Social anxiety be danged, my person can work a sword. In a world full of demons and ghosts, sometimes the scariest thing is just talking to other people. And the best way to overcome it Just being a little scrimblow.
So, how is it?
It's the Muppet Show with our special guest star, Miss Rita Moreno.
It's time to start the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to tell you why Kermit's landing here on our little show tonight. Muppets and me go way back, thanks to my parents being fans of the original show, so it was always there. I mean, Muppets are always relevant, but never really in the big show spotlight. Despite all the clamoring for every movie to be remade with Muppets, no one ever cares whenever we get a new piece of Muppet media. Nowadays, all people take them for is streaming service filler shows and mainstays at the Game Awards. But even if we never see our felted friends again, I'll always cherish them. And above them all, Kermit. Why him above them all? Because he's a frog. Well, there's more. I think Kermit is the perfect middle ground of what you want in a mascot. He's nice, he's outgoing, helpful, the perfect best friend, but he can also be dry, sarcastic, with emotion, and very blunt. He's a perfect in-between of Mickey and Bugs, while still being his own distinct character. I mean, there's a reason any game legally cannot be considered a success until someone mods Kermit into it. He's got a charm no other character in his whole ensemble or anyone else has. Even if we never get more Muppet media, we have so much that shows why Kermit will always mean the world to me. Maybe one day we'll find it, that rainbow connection, but for now, this lover and dreamer is moving right along. Yay!
I noticed you're watching.
You can basically control C, control V last statement, honestly. Peanuts holds a similar grasp on me that Muppets does. The only difference being Snoopy and the crew have been more prevalent in my life. Snoopy has also popped in my life in weird ways. My favorite Christmas decorations have always been this Peanuts nativity set I have. I once had a goal to watch every Peanuts special, which I succeeded, on top of watching the main ones every holiday. The Snoopy ice cream bar is the actual best ice cream ever made. It's literally just chocolate and vanilla ice cream twist in novelty form, and I curse the man who decided to discontinue it to the deepest pits of heck. And of course, one of my first favorite videos focused all on Snoopy. Good old Snoop Dogg is just another character that always makes me happy. Even for visiting some of the old specials and comics, you may realize he's not just a cute man's best friend, he's actually a little rat gremlin that likes chaos. But that just makes him better! He's still a little joyous boy full of life, and I love him. And of course, he's a huge part of my life. Of all our lives. He is eternal. He knows all. He is all. He is Snoopy. If you get that reference, you're a true straight OG.
I was always willing to heal your wounds.
It feels weird to pick a more minor character as your favorite. Even in a series like Zelda, which only has like 4 or so recurring characters. It's even weirder to do that when said character is dead for most of their appearances. Despite that, Mifa still stands above the Zelda crew for me. For female characters, I realize my favorite character type is the one who's extremely sweet and kind to everyone they meet, even motherly, but the second thread is around, they can prove themselves as super powerful while still keeping that sweet side. Mifa is the first example of that, and it simplifies it better than any version of Zelda. Her crush on Link is super endearing and shows an almost dorky side to her beneath her being a warrior, and adds so much tragedy when you realize, oh yeah, she was planning on proposing to Link soon before she was killed, and despite that, she manages to help beyond the grave thanks to Mifa's grace. This is also why the Age of Calamity is better than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because Mifa doesn't die, baby! We love Fish Wife in this household.
I believe in you. Now, shall we try one more time?
Get a load of this!
Sonic is a strange series to me. I got into it during the late 2000s. You know, think of it being the world's biggest punching bag, with every game being ripped apart, being poorly made, and having legions of characters no one likes. melodramatic dialogue, and solid-minded horny furries for a fandom. And right when you think it couldn't get worse, the official Twitter decides to also bash the series. One thing manages to rise above the toxicity though, and that's the funny science guy. Dr. Eggman is like Egg himself. He's a perfect ingredient to be thrown into anything to bring the life out of it. A more serious story, a more silly story, a main villain, a reluctant ally, Jim Carrey, a wonderful fluffy cake baked lightly left to dry just a bit so you can really bring out the zest. He has it all. Not only that, but he's not just a simple cartoon villain. You can tell he learns from his mistakes, changing his plans every game, increasing his scope. And of course, later growing to genuinely care about his adopted daughter. Also, he's funny. He's really funny. When the closest to controversy you can get in this fandom is if we should call you by your real name or nickname, you don't gotta be snooping as usual to see why he's got the master plan.
I don't care! Just push! We have to hurry! I already have my revenge planned out, and next time I will not fail!
I don't want your money, I want your shirt.
I can't count the reasons I should stay. One by one, they all just fade away.
Oh my god, a live action character? We can do that? Well, yeah, don't get used to it. Though there were a few in contention, I bet it rose to the top. Why is that? Well, it's canonically autistic. Let's go! Abed manages to balance out a lot. He's a loser, he's funny, he's hard of the group. He's both shockingly popular in school, while also being constantly looked down upon, and he does the scientifically impossible, having a character who speaks in references that I don't want to kill. Honestly, Community is just a really good show, and that's all there is to it. Abed's the one I quote the most, plus being the funniest and having some really touching moments. He's cool. Cool.
It's terrible.
On your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out your brilliant teen and dime cigar. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars.
Oh, thank God, it's been a while since a Disney character. I was worried I was actually becoming a functional adult. So WALL-E is another film that I grew super attached to for years. My mom and I even had a tradition for a bit to watch it every Earth Day. It's one of the few, heck, possibly the only piece of media with an environmental message that's not super preachy. But who cares about bettering the world? The robot is silly! Yeah, WALL-E himself really helps this film be as iconic as it is. He's just so cute, man, I can't handle it! And despite not talking very often, his everything is still so gripping. His personality, his goal to get his plant back, and of course, his relationship with Eve, which is up there as one of the cutest relationships I've ever seen. This is true nerd and jock shipping. I'm so glad they have it! Square!
Look!
Hands down the biggest, I guess we do make the list moment on here. Scooby-Doo has always been there with me, but I didn't realize how always there he's been with me. The first movie I can remember seeing was a live-action Scooby-Doo movie. This explains why I'm so critical of the film. I started with too high of a standard. I rewatched Cyber Chase and Witch's Ghost to death as a kid too. And honestly, as someone who was, as established, a pussy, I think Scoob and the gang really helped me get over the horrors. That serial killer wasn't a bad guy, he's just a banker who was upset about people stealing his pens. Like, Scooby and the gang constantly pop up in my life looking at it. Like in 4th grade, I think. On the very first day of school, I broke a bone just by laying funnily before I even left my house. So all day, I was stuck in my room watching nothing but endless Scooby reruns. It was comforting knowing even at one of my lowest points, man's best friend is there for me. Every piece of his series is rewatchable to me. Well, besides Velma. But I'll give Velma this. Thanks to that, guess who decided to be cool and show what's new with the series No Mystery Incorporated. Pup may not be my favorite cowardly canine, you'll never guess who is, but he's definitely still a good boy. Oh, you might be wondering why. Most of my praise is for the series. Scooby himself is here instead of any other members. It's simple. I like dogs.
I claim this planet in the name of Mars.
I have a deep appreciation of classic animation. As a kid, I watched a lot of Popeye, Tom and Jerry, Felix the Cat, classic Disney, Betty Boop, heck, I guess Hanna-Barbera counts now too. And while Dick, Dashley, Popeye, and especially Tom were all highly considered, Looney Tunes has always been the best for the golden age of animation. And my favorite of the ensemble has always been Taz. Okay, rotates a lot between him and Marvin, but I'm ranking this in a Marvin mood right now. Where does he get a nod? Well, he has green in his design. That's how you win in my book. It's actually quite easy being green. Frick you, Kermit. And like, Looney Tunes is all about being funny, and I studied at Harvard for 5 years to finally deduce that Marvin is, in fact, humorous. He is quite possibly my favorite voice of any fictional character. It's just so inherently funny to me. Plus, I love the constant gag of him being reduced to just a helmet or shoes. I love my favorite characters in Pain. He's got a lot of my favorite shorts, and I watched a lot of Duck Dodgers as a kid, where he was the most recurring villain. Something about his design from the blank, soulless eyes to the tutu is really cute, and one of the most standout alien designs in anything. And his politeness and affability, even when trying to destroy Earth, is always great. Marvin would definitely be higher if modern Looney Tunes actually, used him. Despite being the third most iconic character in the series, he's been constantly given bit roles recently. Meaning he only really get here. Still, frick Ray William Johnson. This will always be my favorite Martian.
You have made me very angry. Very angry indeed.